The final stop before the Padel Bungee Jump Challenge match. Myself against 88th in the country, Tim Jarvis, in a one-on-one cross-court match. And this one is either for paid or free sponsorship with the Y1 Padel brand. 2 questions. Can I beat Tim to give me the highest level of confidence before the big game on the 31st? And also, how did this match come about? Well, I was invited to a Y1 Padel event at Stratford Padel Club where I met with the main guy for the Y1 Padel brand, George Carson. He gave me rackets to test out, but we also discussed a potential sponsorship deal. He was up for it, so he rang up Tim, one of the Y1 sponsored players, and the match was set. Check out my Instagram for how that all came about. I then made my way to Reading to the Padel Hub, so let's cut to me and Tim on court. Right, so I am here with 88th in the country, Tim Jarvis, here at the Padel Hub in Reading. Tim, how's it going, man? You good?
Yeah, really good. Really looking forward to this.
Awesome, man. So this is for the Y1 Padel sponsorship. It's a cross-court match. It's going to be right-hand side only. We're going to be playing for 60 minutes. It's going to be a massive test for myself as we're gearing up for the Padel Bungee Jump Challenge on August the 31st. Tim, you've been with Y1 Padel now for a few months?
Yeah, I've been with them for 3-4 months now. Really enjoying their kit. And also the rackets are unbelievable as well, so definitely a move that I'm happy about.
You were saying earlier that you did have a ball paddle racket before, and now you've gone to this. Like, for me, this just gives a hell of a lot more power, which I think you agree with as well. What else is it about like the Y1 paddle rackets that you really like?
Yeah, obviously, like you mentioned there, the power is nothing I've really experienced before. Like, once you get out of that sweet spot, it's so much easier to kick out than you stand a ball paddle racket. But it's not even just that, it's even like the control on it, the touch around the net, drop volleys. Hopefully I'll be able to do a few today. But like, yeah, just using the racket, it did take a little bit of time to get used to because it is so different to the ball paddle. But I think once you get used to it, it's definitely a racket that I've really excelled with, and I think I recommend it to most people out there, to be honest.
Awesome, man, awesome. Now, of course, this is cross-court singles. Tim, have you played much cross-court singles?
I have. I played actually a bit yesterday in preparation for this, but it's so different to your normal doubles. I think it's definitely a lot more tiring. I think you'll be able to see this today. But I don't think I played enough, probably not as much as you, but we'll see. We'll see.
Cool. Right, we're going to crack on, we're going to warm up, and then we're going to start the match. This is a really big game for myself because Tim, obviously, one of the top players in the country, and me, myself, I'm not, but I'm really pushing hard to be at a good level against Jake Bewley on the 31st. So thanks for doing this, man. So let's crack on.
Let's have fun.
So it's myself versus Tim, with a form of sponsorship on the line with Y1 Padel, either a free or paid sponsorship. Of course, it's a win-win for myself in reality, as if I lose, I still am sponsored and I'm able to get some free gear, but building a brand requires money. So yes, a paid sponsorship is of course what I'm going for. A big shout out to Y1 Padel at this point too. They resonate with my journey and I've got a lot of time for that. And here at 40-15 to Tim in the first game, a Chiquita to the feet, I saw there was an opportunity to transition to the net with a backhand volley to the space. Now at 40-30, look at my racket take back. Starts high to low. No need to do that. If anything, it's contributing to me missing that shot. As I'm losing time, I need to keep the racket at the same height of the ball. First game to Tim. Second game now, and something that was really impressive with Tim was his movement and execution of shots. Tim with a great backhand slice there to take the point. And as you watch me mess an overhead up and get broken, cross-court is a very demanding format of paddle. It's super physical, but too often, I'm slow mentally at the start of matches. Holding serve is key. The first volley after the serve is key. Maintaining the net, key. But when I get to the net position, I tend to lose composure somewhat. And sometimes my overheads have too much pace on them, so it's difficult to regain the net position. All things I have to have nailed come the 31st of August against Jake Bewley. 30-15 now, a battle with Tim at the net and a great weighted forehand volley to make it 40-15. Into the next point, 1 point away from being 3-love down in my final stop before the big day, a love from myself and a big smash from Tim to take the game. A must-win game here from myself, and this is where I just wanted to lock in on my volleys, especially after the serve, as any time I zoned in and I was able to apply pressure on that first volley, I was able to win the point. I know a lot of you guys have said about my racket ready position at the net, and I agree with you. I'm trying to add it into my game, and when I'm able to, I definitely feel like I have more time to get the tip up and come down on the ball. Some silly unforced errors though from myself bring the game to juice. Now, let's see what happens. That was a big point. It's 3-1 now, and we rejoin at 4-1, my serve. Again, I'm 2 break points down. And whilst I win this point, just looking back at it, Tim has great defense for sure, but I'm barely making him move, which means where is the space for me to attack into? And this is stuff I've worked on with Louis Harris before, but I need to play with more spin, a slower pace, to the middle even. It would give me time and create movement and space. A poorly executed Vibra sees me now at 5-1 down. Tim now serving with 2 set points. Let's watch what happens here. First set point saved. Second set point saved. Golden point now. Tough angle from Tim into the cage. I somehow managed to get a break back. Can I hold my ruddy serve? Well, let me tell you, points were getting longer overall, and whilst that is physically tough, one of the first things that goes for me is that extra step I need sometimes to get behind the ball. The aim is to always hit the ball just in front of my body, but when I'm getting tired, that goes out the window. Fitness has definitely improved overall, but I'd be lying if I said it wasn't still the biggest negative contributing factor to my game right now. And that makes it even more important to give myself more time, and that's not what I was doing. Where can I create time? Serving slower, lobbing more, using more spin and placement on my overheads. If I'm now a step or two slower due to fitness, I'm going to be a step or two slower to the net or to the glass. So I need to play smarter and within my current capabilities. As you've seen though, I managed to claw out that game to bring it back to 5-3, still 1 break down, Tim serving for the set. And hindsight is obviously a great thing. I'd recommend everyone to just record your matches, it helps so much. But looking at this game though as an example, Tim was of course playing great as he did the whole match, but there are definitely moments here where 1 step back for me, I could play a lob, or I could have taken pace off my drives to play a Chiquita, not overcommit, be a lot more patient and play a more composed game. A wild forehand out, Tim takes the first set 6-3, and I'd love to know what your thoughts about my game are. Drop them in the comments below the video. Second set then, and cross-court brings out the worst in me in some ways. I've got to learn to reset and be present in the moment to change my game plan. It makes 0 sense to play the same game. Barely any lobs off of shots I could lob, and just inviting pressure when my lungs haven't got it in them to execute that type of game. Equally, Tim is a beast, barely made any mistakes, plays to a high level, a genuinely lovely dude, and I'm for sure going to be following his journey in the sport. I'm also not saying I'm beating Tim with better fitness and game plan, by the way, but the scoreline could have potentially, maybe, possibly be tighter. Maybe not. 3-1 now to Tim. Decent backhand volley for 15 love by myself, and this point here is kind of what was wrong with my approach. Really good solid volleys to start, applying pressure so Tim has to play down, but then a short floating backhand volley which invites the lob. To be fair to myself, I did get that extra step back for the shot off the glass. I then retake the net super casually though, get past, and the short ball from Tim here gave me time to lob, but I decided not to. I invited the pressure, wasn't ready for it, point to Tim. And a few points later, some hesitancy gives Tim the break. We're at 4-1 now in the second set, with time running out. So it's 30-all in the next game, and as I was primarily going down the middle in the match, I changed it up over the next couple of points, seeing the space cross, and I managed to get to 30-40 and then take the game to get a break back. But I just wasn't able to capitalise on it. Shot selection just wasn't good enough, and whilst games were tight and it could go either way, the more consistent, higher level player is always going to dominate, especially when you aren't making the right decisions. And as you watch Tim smash, hit the glass, then my back, which hurt way more than I let on, we had another tight game, which ended in another golden point scenario with a well-placed Vibra from Tim, which I didn't read well at all, to take the second set 6-2. With time running out now for myself, I still gave it everything I had, and of course it was disappointing to lose the paid sponsorship, but a shout out to Y1 Padel for sponsoring me for free with their awesome rackets and gear and support. And whilst I'm always pretty hard on myself when voicing over my gameplay, I know my game is improving. I know my fitness isn't there yet, but it's also improving, and I know that the conclusion of the first season of my journey comes in the form of the Padel Bungee Jump Challenge match against Jake Bewley at Rocket Padel in Battersea on August the 31st. I need every ounce of support you could possibly muster up to give to me, so come on down to witness the match live. Arrive from 1 p.m, the match is going to start at 2 p.m, and the event is going to be hosted by Emily Kilner, with the bungee jump itself now to be streamed live on YouTube in September. As the match ends, before we talk to Tim, just want to say thanks for doing the match, man. I had a ton of fun and very well played to you with a completely deserved victory.
Right, so we're back after the match. Tim won, I think it was 6-3, 6-2, and then 3-love in the third. Really high level from Tim. As you know, like, I'm not used to playing like a super high level game. Cross court's pretty hardcore, of course. Fitness struggling past like the first set, but I feel like overall, like, my game is getting stronger. I feel like my decision making isn't great. Like, there's quite a few shots that you would have seen inside of this video that just like are just a poor shot selection, really. Which I'm not saying I would have been any further ahead with games or anything like that, but might have been a little bit closer. But Tim, obviously, such a good level from you, dude. Like, first time I've played you. Just be brutally honest.
Yeah.
Like, what did you think of my game and the match itself?
Yeah, so as I said to you before the match, I've seen some of your stuff online, so I wasn't too sure what to expect. So I could tell that you had like the natural skills. You actually really impressed me with, especially your play off the back glass, your volleys, your reactions. I was a little bit taken to it in that first set, especially, I think I was 5-1 up, and you got back to 5-3, sun left juice. And I was actually really impressed, and even the intensity at the start was definitely really impressive. Again, singles is so tiring, and I think you kind of wore out a little bit. Obviously myself as well, it's knackering, but I think, yeah, I was really impressed, and I think the rallies that you guys will see is some really good level stuff. And I'm excited to see where you go.
Appreciate it. What would you say, like, from your, because obviously you do some coaching as well,
Yeah.
like, obviously putting you on the spot, but what would you say is like bits about my game that you would say, like, look, James, you're not going to get to a certain level before Jake, but these are the things you should be doing more of?
Yeah, I think maybe varying up the speeds a little bit more. I think sometimes, even for myself, just going too big too often, sometimes maybe a slow it down Chiquita, a higher lob to get yourself into the net. So I think when you were at the net, especially on this cross-court battle, it's so tough to get past you unless I hit a great shot. I think also sometimes you may have gone for a bit too much of a risky shot.
Yeah.
I think there's some scenarios where you could have just neutralised down the middle or to my feet, whereas you've gone for that extra shot to the cage, which obviously when it works, it's amazing, you hit the winner. But I think at the end of the day, especially against Jake, like, you want to make balls, right? And if he hits a winner, he hits a winner. If you hit a winner, sometimes it's just too good. I think if you can go for that more sensible shot more often, and obviously still go for those shots when you can, and if you feel like you're able to, then go for it. Yeah. But I think even like technical wise, I think you're pretty sound. Just kind of minor tweaks in there a little bit, maybe with some volleys and some overhead technique. But I think on the overall, yeah, I'm really impressed with your game.
Awesome, good.
Cheers,
Appreciate it.
Cheers, guys.
So that is it for today, guys. If you've loved this video, then hit the like button, drop a comment, share this video, and of course subscribe. Big thank you to Tim. It is bye from us today, and we will see you in the next one. Bye bye.